Welcome back, everybody, to the Radiant Rocket League Series. We just had an amazing match. If you are just tuning in, you are missing out. You got detention now. I'm dressed like a teacher, so I can say that. We had game 5, and it was a close one. Gibbs, kind of give me the recap real quick.
1-goal game. We said MPT. The reason why they lost is because all 3 of us predicted them, but it was back and forth. Game 1 was SES, then MPT. Game 2, SES 3, MPT 4, and then it comes down to a crossbar with like what? I don't even know how much time was left on the clock. Like 5 seconds on the clock, where MPT almost tied it, but SES, they survive. Game 5 victory, 1-0 in their group.
I mean, Hercules, we're going to be here a while if all these games are going to game 5.
This is what happens. It's going to be a long day.
We have a script, yes, lots of game 5s.
We'll change the script for you guys.
I should have made an hourly rate, but I did the day rate, so it's unfortunate.
Damn it. Well, let's talk about our next match, because I think this is going to be a banger, Hercules. I know we were kind of throwing up fists, because it's Torrent White versus the Pittsburgh Knights, the queens of the Challengers Series from the WCBC and the queens of the Premier League. Hercules, I'll start with you. What do you want to sell me on?
So,
all right.
Torrent White. Now, to be fair, and if you do not keep up with the WCBC and this is your first time hearing of these two teams, Freya actually was subbed in but was kept because she was doing so well. So Freya, Pads, and Yi are 3 amazing players. They were basically unstoppable. I'm gonna genuinely say I think that they are unstoppable. I think that they deserve to go play against the Premier League. So I think that this, for Torrent White, is actually going to be a very defining moment for them to see, do they have what it takes to beat a Premier League team under pressure?
I'm just looking at the name of Princess Cheeks, and I just can't keep
I love her name.
Face. Gibbs, what are you most excited about?
I'm just excited again for Torrent White. They are a team that dominates in that minor league, basically Challenger League. They're going to they have to go up to the Premier League, and now it's a real test. Before their playoffs to Challenger League, so I'm excited to watch them. I don't believe in them as much as Hercules, but I'm excited.
I was going to do you like that.
I'm just excited to see.
Hercules, who are you predicting to win?
I'm a real fan. I'm going Torrent.
Okay, she's Torrent. How about you?
I'm going Pittsburgh Knights. I'm from Pennsylvania, or I live in Pennsylvania now, so I got to go Pittsburgh Knights.
All right, if Herc said Torrent, I'm also Torrent. I don't like being wrong. So we're gonna jump into our second game of the day, the Pittsburgh Knights versus Torrent White. I hope you guys at home are ready. Our players are hitting the field. Our casters are fired up. Let's get into it.
All right, here we go.
Well, here we go. It is time.
Pressure is on. We'll see what happens here. Torrent White, Hercules, hyping him up.
Woo!
Now she feels nervous about it, I think, with the caster curse.
I like to get nervous with the teams.
Hey.
Makes me feel normal.
Well, I helped you out, you know, by picking Pittsburgh Knights. So there wasn't
it's also
a caster
your first
curse.
time. So
Yeah, it's my first time casting like in the studio too. I don't cast. I'm just on the desk because I look pretty. But now I have to actually do work. I don't like this. But we saw Game 5 in that first series. Do you see another Game 5 here?
I'm going to be honest. If there was any group that I thought was going to go to Game 5, it would have been these two teams. In all honesty, watching Torrent White over the past 9 weeks, they had only dropped 1 game, I believe, up until like the 7th week. And they were like #1, absolutely undefeatable. I think the only time that they had dropped a game was there was a ping issue for a player on the team. So like you have to hope something's going wrong for Torrent White to like not come out swinging. They're a very fast-paced team. They know exactly what they want. One player in particular, Yi. She is an amazing standout for Torrent White. She goes very, very hard in this game, knows what she wants to do. But of course, Lemon Kiwi, she watches the Pittsburgh Knights every week. I don't get to see them as much. So I can't say too much about PK, but I know that PK does have an RLCS team, so maybe they got the RLCS org buff. I know Torrent White also does.
Torrent does too, yeah.
But,
and that's really cool to see that these RLCS teams picking up new teams in new avenues of Rocket League. We want to see women in Rocket League, and this is where it all begins. We hope to see it more. We've seen it before. We'll see it later with Karma. We've seen her in the RLCS, and she'll be here casting later, so that's very, very exciting as well. But we need more exposure for these women, and we see it here. We see it with these RLCS orgs as we get into game 1. We got Torrent White versus Pittsburgh Knights. I would say Pittsburgh Knights are the favorite. Hercules would probably hit me for that, but we'll see what happens. Torrent White, #1 team in Challenger. Pittsburgh Knights, a Premier League team. A preview of Torrent White going to the Premier League very likely next season.
And as we watch, Pads is going to try and set herself up for this. She actually puts it on the backboard, but unfortunately, Jazzy is going to push up a little bit too far. It looks like PK Jade is taking her time. She's taking a little second there to get all ready. But yeah, like I said, I've been watching Torrent White for the past 9 weeks. They're a very confident team. They do what they can very quickly. And like I said, Yi is definitely the player to look out for, but Jazzy Kitty is going to the first one. Excuse me, not Yi, but Jazzy Kitty is going to the first one with a goal on the board as Pads sets her up. 4 minutes and 22 seconds left.
Yeah, I think Pads was trying to chain some wall dashes there as well. Didn't need the pass there, so Jazzy Kitty comes out. And yeah, it looks like no Yi playing today.
I guess not.
For Torrent White. We'll see if that plays a factor. It doesn't matter. Kickoff goal here by Jazz Kitty, 27, putting it home. Big 2-0 lead for Torrent White.
Yeah, Jazzy Kitty is like, you know what? Yi, you can take a day off. I got this. 2-0 already with 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. It was extremely, extremely fast. Torrent White, like I said, they're a very fast-paced team. They like to keep control. They like to communicate very, very well. They always know where each other are at all times. Zoella is going to be the first one to go up, though. And Zoella, somebody I know and love. She's a great friend of mine. It's a huge honor to be able to be casting all of my friends here.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch Jade. Jade's going to be the next one to go up. She tries to continue her play, but she's unable to. The ball is actually going to go onto the backboard, and Pads is going to send it right back into the Pittsburgh Knights cars.
Oh, and here we go. Jade comes out with a little dribble play, just 1-2 tap to put this over the defense of Torrent White. I'm a little worried for you, Hercules, because you say you're good friends with Zoella, but you were trashing Pittsburgh Knights.
So
you were trashing them.
Zoella knows that, you know, I believe in her. She knows I love her. So does Jade and Cheeks. You know, it's really hard because I'm friends.
So it's tough love.
It's tough love.
Okay.
But there's something about Torrent White. Like I said, it was amazing to get to watch this team literally go undefeated for 7 weeks or so. And I genuinely have been waiting to see them compete against a Premier League team. Cheeks, Princess Cheeks, up next, tying the game up to 2-2. A gorgeous, gorgeous play coming out from her on the dueling Dragon's goal explosion, my signature goal explosion. I don't know who to pick.
Zoella, though, that was an incredible dribble. She fakes out one defender, then gets the flick to make that pass out to Cheeks, who was pushing up incredibly fast to make sure she was there for the pass. Torrent White, they had a 2-goal lead. We talked about no comebacks in that first series today, but Pittsburgh Knights have done it here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a much more different game than we saw in the first series. These two teams it's very common for them to be able to come back. It's not anything unusual. There's not a lot of nerves there when it comes to them in these kinds of situations. We're about halfway through our game now as we're watching Jazzy Kitty trying to get a shot on net, but it's just a bit wide. But a follow-up play from Pads to put Torrent White with a 1-goal comfort lead.
We almost saw the hat trick coming out by Jazzy Kitty off the post, but that just turns into a pass right there for Pads to clean it up. Torrent White back in the lead.
Torrent White is now back in the lead, 1 goal ahead of the Pittsburgh Knights as we head on over into kickoff. Jazzy Kitty is going to get it over one defender, but Zoella is going to be up next. She's going to try and continue this play, send it over to Princess Cheeks, who's going to follow this up, but it will be denied. The shot goes over to the side, and a PK player is going to try and center this. Freya just kind of sitting there. She knows if the car stays still and the ball goes into her, it's just going to get sent right out.
Jazz Kitty, big save, has 2 goals as well. We're still waiting on our first hat trick. We haven't seen it on the main street yet. Maybe she'll pull it off here. But very, very close game. Torrent White barely holding on to that lead.
They're doing everything that they can right now. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remain. A shot on net gets denied and sent over, but it will be centered. But of course, a PK player is always there in the net. You never have to worry. Pads, is trying to continue this. The ball actually gets sent,
the
but
crossbar.
The crossbar denies the shot to go into the net.
Oh, Pittsburgh Knights pretty happy about that. This crossbar, man, oof, just looming all the time. It's always there. Watch it.
They got that fourth player, the unwritten fourth player as the ball goes up into the air. PK Jade is going to try and beat any Torrent White players. And Cheeks, Princess Cheeks is trying to get a shot on net. She actually gets it. It goes crossbar down right into the net. And we're now tied again with 1 minute and 32 seconds remaining.
The midfield was left wide open. Princess Cheeks just coming out, clapping that crossbar right there. What a shot coming out.
Clapping the crossbar.
And we got a tie game. Crossbar going favorable for one team, maybe not the other, but doesn't matter. 3-3 game, minute 25 left. And another one goes in. High scoring affair here.
Torrent White has no fear when it comes to games like these. They understand pressure. Pads just easily following it up, getting it past all 3 of the Pittsburgh Knights defenders, and now putting her team up with a 1-goal lead.
Personally, I love defense, but it's so much fun watching a 4-3 game with 1 minute 20 left because you just don't know what's going to happen at this point. Goals going in left and right. Pittsburgh Knights, again, have to come back. This will be the 3rd time they have to try and tie it back up. Can they do it?
We will find out as another shot goes on net. It does get denied. Jazzy Kitty is going to be the next one up to try and follow this. She gets it past one, but she herself is unable to keep control. PK Jade trying to drop this ball, but Freya is going to be the next one up. It gets denied, but Torrent White do still have control of the ball.
And we see it, the play-by-play is hectic because every single play it's just shot, block, shot, goal, and then and that's all it is. It's just action on both sides of the field right now. Very, very exciting to watch. But we're down now, 35 seconds. Pittsburgh Knights down a goal. They have to gain control of this ball, but Pads wants to waste a little time, go for a flip reset. Doesn't work out. Pittsburgh Knights gets a huge challenge in the midfield to push it out onto the other side of the field.
Yes, they do. And now we're counting down to the last 20 seconds. Can Torrent White hold on to this 1-goal lead? Freya is now the next one up. Zoella is going to try and do something with this, but of course a Torrent White player is always up next. But is one going to be back in time to save this shot?
Oh.
No. Because PK Jade is going to be the next one to send it on in. We're now tied with 3 seconds remaining. A demo from Freya on to a PK player. And Pittsburgh Knights have now tied it up.
We saw the wall aerial. I thought that was going in, but then it was a miss. But no one on defense because Torrent White's expecting that to be shot. And Pittsburgh Knights, 3 seconds left, ties it up for the 3rd time in this game. We're going to overtime.
We are going to overtime. And like I said earlier, these 2 teams are very, very good. They're very aggressive.
Oh, good kickoff.
Potentially an early kickoff goal, but it does get denied by Pads. Pads sends this on over into the blue half and continues to try to keep control of it. Can she center this for a player? No. Jazzy Kitty is going to be up next. Can she get another touch on it? No, she cannot. But Pads trying to get a follow-up.
The dunk.
She does. She gets the dunk, and they win our first game in the series.
Ooh, that first shot by Pads, I wasn't sure about it, but she follows it up, gets the dunk on Jade. Torrent White, you might have given up 3 leads. Didn't matter. In overtime, they still come out on top. High scoring affair. That's more goals than our whole last series, it feels like. 9 goals in game 1.
Yes, and like I said before, Torrent White is a team that has everything to prove right now. They've proved themselves countless times in the WCBC's Challenger League. They're getting ready to prove themselves in the Premier League, and now they're ready to show off in this amazing Radiant Rocket League Series tournament that is being put on for us this weekend.
Pads with the hat trick, and did it in style in the overtime to get the win, the first hat trick on the mainstream. And again, nerves are going to play a factor for these teams, but completely different story here. Game 1, everyone's like, we got no nerves. We're just going to go on the offense and just put home some fantastic goals. And we were talking about that we saw this match as one of those pieces of like, these could be 2 playoff teams, and they really showed it in game 1.
They really did. And of course, like I said, any of these WCBC teams are teams to look out for this weekend. These are teams that like I talked about in the first game, sometimes what could cost a team a series is not having, you know, the ability to have been scrimming for long periods of times. They might not have these plays that they have out set for themselves. But Pittsburgh Knights and Torrent are two teams that have set plays and set up for themselves, and they're completely prepared and ready to head on over into this next game. Torrent White took our first one, and we almost watched a goal right there, right off of the kickoff already. But I don't know, do you think this one's gonna be kind of similar to our last one, or do you think it's gonna start to get a little bit closer?
So I've been casting Rocket League for 5+ years. I've seen it all. This is gonna be a 0-0 10-minute overtime because we had 9 goals in game 1. That's just how it works, Rocket.
That's true.
That's the way it is. No matter if you're a player, caster, or a fan, you know that happens all the time. It's gonna happen.
You know, and I don't even doubt that, because I really think that now, after what just happened, defense on both ends is going to be completely amped up, and teams are going to be a little bit more careful. They don't want to risk those, like, 3-time tied-up series.
And here we go, a goal line play. Pats throws it away, though. There was no one there for a shot by Pittsburgh Knights. And I just feel like we're also doing this on hard mode, I feel like, because we got the Torrent White decals. They look nice. But they're green and they're on the orange team. And we got Pittsburgh Knights. They're also looking fly, but they're yellow on the blue team. So production is just throwing hard mode for me and Herc here. But
they really are.
That's okay. That's okay, because we're pros now. We've casted once, right?
Oh, yeah. We've
that's all we
casted
need.
one time, you guys.
Yeah, but I've seen Jorby cast. It looks easy, so, you know, why not? Let's do it.
They make it look so easy. So, you know what? Sign us up for the RLCS, your new favorite duo, as we watch another shot get denied by Torrent White. Torrent White's defense looking amazing as always. Zoella trying to send this over to a teammate. Princess Cheeks is up next. You know, for every Pittsburgh Knight player on the field that has control of the ball for at least a second, a Torrent White player is already up for a challenge, but a shot on net goes unchallenged as PK Jade gets a gorgeous shot on net.
Just reading off the wall. That's a really tough angle. No one expects that to go on target, and it does. Jade, the wall play coming out. Pittsburgh Knights, early lead. Their first lead, I believe, in the entire series.
Yep, because it's one goal.
I was talking about game 1, Herc, okay?
It's only game 1.
I mean, game 1, you know, they tied it 3 times. They never had a lead, I think, all right?
Okay, I'll give you that,
Man, she's already roasted me.
The ball is now in the midfield. Paz is going to try to take a shot on net, but it does get denied and sent right back over to her. Jazzy Kitty is going to go up next. She actually wins, and she is going to try and take the big boost, take control. Can she center it or send it over to a teammate? One of her teammates is there, but it actually misses. It gets cleared over into the Torrent White half.
Oh, no.
PK Jade. She's going to be the one credited with this goal. An unfortunate touch from Torrent.
Just turn off the feed. We don't need to see
we
the
don't
own goal.
wanna see
I didn't see it.
For her.
That was just a PKJ goal.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
We didn't see it.
It was a great win in the midfield, and that was a hard clear for sure. They were trying to throw it off the back wall or throw it into a corner. Did not work out there. So Pittsburgh Knights an early 2-goal lead in game 2.
Yep, and Freya doing everything she can to redeem herself, but the ball is now in the orange half. A demo play coming out, but Torrent is still able to save the ball. The ball is going into the blue half. Can Jazzy Kitty get the follow-up? No, but can Freya redeem herself? Let's see. Oh, the ball gets denied. Pads is up next, sending it down, dropping it. The ball gets cleared out into the orange half. Zoella trying to redirect it in, but it's just a bit wide. She's going to go ahead and flex some boost, and PK Jade is going to be up next to take the next shot.
Torrent White, they had a goal-scoring opportunity. There was a double commit on the defense, but Freya, she wanted to take her time, go for a dribble. I don't think she had the angle for the shot, so it was just unfortunate. Her position was just slightly off to just put it on net. So instead of Torrent White making a 1-goal game, still down 2.
And as time counts down, I'm noticing a lot of demos coming out from Torrent White onto PK. They're trying to open up an opportunity to score something, but as they are in the orange half, a nice little bump back towards the goal. Can Pads continue to keep this in the blue half? Though she can. And the ball goes next up towards Freya. It'll drop down. Can Jazzy Kitty get the touch? No. Will there be a follow-up shot? No. It gets denied once again. Pittsburgh Knights' defense is looking stronger than ever.
Yeah, no matter what you do there as Torrent White, you can go for the shot or not touch the ball. It doesn't matter. Pittsburgh Knights was just right behind the ball for each of those plays. So it wouldn't have mattered too much here. And now we get a scoring opportunity. Jazz Kitty puts it home. Torrent White gets a freebie, I would say here, just a little bit because of the demolition. Now, 1-goal game. Can Torrent White tie it up?
Gorgeous shot, and I love those plays. You know, Torrent White was starting to get a little bit desperate, so they did what they had to do. They got a demo. You got to get rid of them. You know, you can't score if there's people there, but you can if nobody is. As Freya tries to take control of this kickoff, but Princess Cheeks is going to be up first. She actually gets a shot on net, but it is denied and sent. The ball is now in the midfield. Can Pads continue to keep control of this? No, but the ball will drop. And a PK player is going to try and do some sort of a little back pass to her teammates and try to waste time. We have less than a minute remaining now, but the ball is now in Pads' favor.
Jazz Kitty almost getting the shot on net. Ooh, but a fast play coming out by Pittsburgh Knights to clear that ball out. Could have had a shot opportunity, but a little bit of a miss. So a little bit of some confusion on the field right now. Some demos coming out as well. Torrent White needs to get this ball down the field quickly. 30 seconds on the clock. Looks like they'll get a pass out here. Will it be a counterplay shot? Oh, there is no shot. 2 defenders there. Jade, the give and go. The shot. Oh, she throws it wide, and demos coming out. Chaos on the field. Back and forth play. Torrent White still looking for that goal, but Pittsburgh Knights in full control right now.
Pittsburgh Knights just sending one shot after the other, trying to waste time. 7 seconds remain. Can they get another shot? No, but 3 seconds remain. I know both of these teams have the ability to keep this ball up if they wanted to, but it will eventually get dropped by the Pittsburgh Knights, and they will take this next game.
Pittsburgh Knights, nice 2-goal lead at the start, held on this time around, and it was their first lead in the series, Herc, you know, so Pittsburgh Knights doing well there. Torrent White, though, again, they're scoring opportunities. They had a few chances. I think they will be relatively happy about that game, because they're keeping it competitive, and that was one they could have won, but they didn't. It's a 1-1 series, 3 games left. But Torrent White, I think, they were pretty big underdogs, I would say, while Pittsburgh Knights is in that Premier League. So, but after 2 games now, they should be feeling like they're on equal footing with Pittsburgh Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Torrent White, if any team from the Challenger League would be able to keep up with the Premier League team, it would be Torrent. I think Torrent's going to do absolutely everything they can. But to be fair, now PK has tied this up in the series. So we haven't actually seen PK's full aggressive side yet. We don't really know how they're going to respond to this. It could become extremely aggressive, or they could slow down the pace completely and just try to stay in control at all times.
And Torrent White, I feel like they noticed that, you know, it was a 2-goal deficit. They went for a lot of demo plays, trying to clear that net out. They were worried about the Pittsburgh Knights defense because they probably know that they're going to play some high-quality defense. Not like Game 1, obviously. No one played defense in that one. But in Game 2, Pittsburgh Knights really showed up. So Torrent White, they could see what they needed to do, and they tried to capitalize on it, and they were incredibly close at doing so. So we'll see if either team makes any adjustment here in Game 3.
Yeah, we're going to see how does Torrent respond to the Pittsburgh Knights being able to tie this series up. As Zoella is next up, she gets a nice touch on it, but Jazzy Kitty's going to go ahead and be able to get a demo and keep control. She sends the ball over. Pads, you know, kind of pre-jumping a little bit, able to keep this ball in Torrent White's favor.
Torrent White trying to hold that pressure. They know what they need to do. Game 2 didn't go their way, but they were fighting back at the very end. Pads coming out with a nice little pinch, trying to get a pass out to the midfield, but we see some back passes off the corner. Shot coming out just a little bit wide by Freya there.
Yeah, a lot of communication I'm seeing right there, but unfortunately accuracy just was not on their side. The ball does get sent back into the Torrent White half, and Princess Cheeks is going to try to go up for this, but she will be beat. The ball is now in the air, slowly dropping down. See if anybody Pads kind of scrambling to put this back into the blue half and give her team the opportunity to score here.
And the miss coming out by Pittsburgh Knights will relieve some of that pressure. Torrent White trying to capitalize on it, but they cannot. PK Jade with a nice double tap off the wall to throw it back in the orange half.
Yep, and then we are now in the midfield. The ball actually gets flown into the blue half. Zoella trying to get this away from her goal. Just barely is able to do so. Torrent White is all pushing up right now, giving all the pressure to PK at the moment. And Jazzy Kitty with a bump, you know, and I'm not sure, but it's very possible that Torrent White might try to adjust how aggressive they are. I know sometimes when Torrent White is down or they're starting to get desperate to get that lead going, they start to get really aggressive. They start demoing, they start bumping. So I'm waiting to see when that's going to start to happen.
And that's one of those things, though. Torrent White, they don't lose that often, right? We said, like, they're first place in Challenger League, so they're not used to losing as well. So it might be a little bit harder to make those comebacks. But Pittsburgh Knights, you know, like in the Premier League battle on every single week, will probably be able to do that a little bit better. But right now, Torrent White, very aggressive. Pittsburgh Knights, though, slow plays by Zoella to not allow 50-50s to come out, just waiting behind the ball. Very smart play there. But at the end of the day, it's a 0-0 game. We're halfway through.
Yeah, and you talked about this at some point. We're going to get that 0-0 overtime with the 10 minutes that we all are waiting for, and this might be it. This might be the one.
I would prefer it not while we're casting, because it's already hard mode here, but, you know, hey, we'll take it where we can get it.
We're doing everything that we can, as are they. The ball now up in the air, waiting to see who's going to be up first, get a touch, and it will be Zoella. Zoella puts this on the corner, trying to center it for a teammate, but a Torrent White player will be able to get a touch on it first and send it on over to the side.
It really comes down to, I just want to see a clean midfield pass at some point. We're seeing a lot of goal line defense, a lot of 50-50s. But instead of going for the 50-50, try and get that little back midfield pass to open up a shot. Because right now it just seems like on both teams, they're just meeting the ball every single time when there's an offensive opportunity. So if you can get that midfield pass where they're not expecting it because they expect a shot, you might confuse the defense and open up a scoring opportunity.
That's very true, and if any teams are able to make that happen for you, Gibbs, it is these two teams, and you know, maybe it's nerves. In all honesty, maybe Pittsburgh Knights didn't expect Torrent White to maybe keep this as close as they did, but I know that PK absolutely is possible of those passing plays.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. Numerous times in a bump. Zoella bumping out the defenders, but Pads is the one trying to keep control of the ball, but she has no boost at the moment. The ball gets flown and sent back into the orange half, trying to get it dropped to a player, but she's unable to, and the ball goes right back into the midfield.
And that's what it's been all game long. A lot of midfield pressure, a lot of just 50-50s there. But I think it's also, when you want to go for one of those infield passes where you need two teammates to be part of the play, they're both a little bit worried because game one we saw both offenses so incredibly good. So if you mess up that pass, it turns into a 2v1 situation and you expect the other team to score. So I think that's why you go for the more safe 50-50 play because you know it's not going to hurt you. It won't help you as much. But right here, a little bit of a miss play coming out by Torrent White, and Cheeks capitalizes on it.
Princess Cheeks, the first person to capitalize on a defensive mistake from Torrent White. Jazzy Kitty trying to save this ball. She knows that it was kind of unfortunately put in a situation where it was most likely going to go in, and Princess Cheeks, of course, was able to just slot that right in there for them. 30 seconds remain. Pittsburgh Knights are now up 1 goal. There is plenty of time for Torrent White to possibly get a goal here, but with Pittsburgh Knights, you know, being defensive heavy right now, it's going to be a lot harder than it was in the first 2 games.
Yeah, so you expect the Torrent White in game, like game 2, go for a lot of demos here with 10 seconds left. Pittsburgh Knights is going to sit on that goal line, want to protect that lead. So Torrent White's going to have to make some physical plays happen. Right there, we almost get a midfield pass, but it gets interrupted, and now Jade just trying to waste a little bit of the clock. Now we're at 0 seconds. Can Torrent White keep this ball up? They cannot. Pittsburgh Knights are your game 3 winners.
Pittsburgh Knights dropping the ball, and I know a lot of times, you know, I see it on TikTok, I see it on Twitter, the famous debate of do you keep the ball up at 0 seconds, but you know, sometimes when it comes down to things like this, $15,000 prize pool,
I'm not doing that at $15,000.
dropping the ball.
Yeah, I'm dropping that ball immediately. I don't mind if a couple people don't like me on Twitter if I'm walking away with 15K. Like, I can afford that, so that's okay. Pittsburgh Knights, that was tough. And Pittsburgh Knights, they were down in game 1. They've battled back 2 wins in a row at this point. Now we talk about momentum. We see Torrent White. They're not used to losing. So do they come back from a 2-1 series deficit? If I was Hercules, I'm saying yes. But do you think that's actually going to happen?
I honestly am not sure. Like, I thought about it before when I saw that these two teams were going to play each other, and I really thought if anybody's going to genuinely go to a game 5, it's going to be these two teams. I think it is very possible, but unfortunately, I don't have the real answer to that. I don't want to caster curse anybody live on stream.
And that's the hard part, right? Because I feel like back when I played, when everyone was bad at Rocket League so I could actually be pro, we used to win all the time. So when we would lose, it was so weird. It was so confusing. I wasn't used to it, so it was hard to battle back. If that was the one we had to play like Europe or something where it was better. But it's very difficult when you are supposed to be that first place team. You're so used to winning. It's a new team dynamic of like, all right, how do we adjust when we're losing? Because I think, well, you could see teammates being best friends when they're winning. When you start losing, then you see their real personalities.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect that here, but Torrent White, like, as we can see, are making that comeback in game 4. Pads capitalizing here, another mistake, and we've seen that a lot. Both teams playing pretty safe, waiting for a mistake to happen. We saw it last game with Pittsburgh Knights and Cheeks. Now we see it here with Torrent White putting themselves in the lead early. That's exactly what they needed. Like, after 2 game losses in a row, you need that early lead to get the momentum going in your favor.
Yeah, you definitely want to scare the Pittsburgh Knights that you're going to come off shooting strong. And of course, like we saw, Pads was the first one to come out and get that follow-up. She didn't need anybody for it. She was able to trust herself enough to continue it, and the ball will now go into the midfield. Zoella trying to deny shots, but Torrent White looking strong. They keep putting one shot after the other, not letting up. Pads trying to drop this down to a teammate, but the ball ends up going free.
And here's the prediction. Trom Twitch that themselves. They were with Hercules. 55% Torrent White. Pittsburgh Knights only 45%. Pittsburgh Knights, though, with the early series lead here, but Torrent White leading game 4, trying to make it another game 5 on the main stream.
Yes, and of course, at the end of the day, Torrent White has the added pressure that Pittsburgh Knight is now at match point. So you do have that little bit of pressure that as the clock winds down, your chances of winning this particular series might be coming to an end. But of course, Torrent White usually does not, fold under that sort of pressure. So with this 1-goal lead, we're going to see how well can they keep their nerves aside and hold on to this.
So here's a trick for you players at home. You're never on match point until you're losing in the match point game. Torrent White's not losing, right? So technically, they're not on match point, all right?
That's true.
That's how you have to think about it. You have to think about, all right, we have a lead, so we're safe. Until they start losing, that's when you're really up against it. So Pittsburgh Knights hasn't had that lead yet in game 4. And right here, we get another shot coming out. Pads, 2 goals now to her name. And we see it, the back wall defense, I think it was Jade trying to make the touch. A little bit of a miss, but Pads, brilliant shot on the 1-goal line. Defense there. Torrent White, again, not on match point. 2-goal lead in game 4, trying to force that game 5.
Pads constantly pre-jumping on these defensive mistakes coming out of the Pittsburgh Knights, and Torrent White now sitting at a comfortable 2-0 and now potentially a 3-0, but it actually does get saved. Princess Cheeks is now in a 1v1. Can she get this flicked over a defender? She can, but the crossbar, you can't flick it over the crossbar. It's not possible.
I think Crossbar's going to win an MVP at some point, but Zoella, Pittsburgh Knights getting back on the board. A lot of offensive pressure by Cheeks. They keep it on the orange side of the field. And what a shot. What an aerial.
Gorgeous, gorgeous shot and gorgeous goal explosion. This is like a movie. I'm telling you, these 2 teams keep it spicy. This is about, this is the equivalent of watching RLCS in the Women's League. I'm telling you, these 2 teams are very, very amazing and skilled at what they do, as the ball goes into a Torrent White defender. Princess Cheeks is going to try to get a shot on net, but it does get denied. PK Jade continuing to keep pressure on Torrent White's end once again. Can the ball slowly roll in? It can. Princess Cheeks is going to make sure that the ball goes in. She gets a nice little touch on there. And we're now tied 2-2 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
Zoella just powers through on that 50-50, opens the door. Pittsburgh Knights, another comeback here. Not a match point yet. Not a match point. It's tie game. Tie game.
Tie game is different than
Torrent White, though.
Technically, it's like being at 0-0.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Same thing. We started 5 minutes over. It's okay. But Torrent White, they desperately want this game. They want to prove that they deserve to be in that Premier League by taking down one of those teams like Pittsburgh Knights.
Absolutely, and what better way to show that you have the capability of beating a Premier League team than in the first and biggest Women's Rocket League tournament in history, the Radiant Rocket League Series, as Pads is going to try and get back in time because PK Jade is going to get a gorgeous shot on net and give the Pittsburgh Knights that 1-goal lead.
PK Jade, right after the demo by Zoella, I feel like she's doing everything on the field except score the goals most of the time. She's doing everything else for the team. PKJ, though, the wheel touch, the drop it down off the crossbar. But Zoella, really impressed with her off-the-ball play right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Zoella's just kind of, she reminds me of Ella. She's giving me Ella vibes from our first series today as we watch another player trying to go up for this ball, but it's okay because the Pittsburgh Knights are going to try and keep control of it. Torrent trying to get a shot on net. Can she pass it over to Jazzy Kitty? She can, but it is just barely touching the post, and it will get sent out by a PK player. It goes off the backboard. Can Jazzy Kitty get the follow-up? No, and PK Jade is going to try and continue to take control, but a back pass actually comes out from Torrent White and allows a clear to get sent into the blue half.
Now Torrent White's up against it, 1 goal down in their match point game. But I like the back pass idea. They're not panicking just yet. They know they still have a minute left to score a goal, and it looks like they're in control. Sure, they had a close miss, but that happens. Can we get a capitalization here? No, we do not.
Oh.
Jade's sitting on the goal line just waiting for a shot that never comes. Torrent White, they've had 2 golden opportunities, missed both. But usually things come in threes. So we'll see if we get a 3rd chance here for Torrent White.
It is very, very possible, and it does seem like the nerves might be starting to set in as we watch everybody from Torrent frantically try to save that shot. But Zoella is going to go up. She's going to try and get that comfort goal for her team, but it does get denied. A Torrent player is going to continue to take control. Can this go into the midfield and into the blue half? We're going to find out here.
Is a chance?
5 seconds remain. The ball is just a bit wide for Torrent to get that shot. The ball is going to drop. And our winner of this series is the Pittsburgh Knights.
And that was a battle, though. That was absolutely a battle. I think Torrent White will be very happy with that series overall. And Pittsburgh Knights as well. They were down in game 1. They lost a high-scoring affair, and then 3 wins in a row. So Pittsburgh Knights, well done to them.
Yeah, you can't even be upset if you're Torrent White playing a team like Pittsburgh Knights. They're a very amazing team. Zoella, Cheeks, everybody doing what they can. But of course, we have more games underway, and that was a very exhausting series with our brains trying to process that the colors were opposite of their car decals. So with that being said, we're going to take a short break, and we will see you guys very soon.
Hi there, I'm Faray here, proudly representing Atlantide Wave as a Rocket League player and captain of my team. I'm currently living in the UK as a Belgian. I've been accepted into a mechanical engineering master's course starting in September. So, you know, for now I'm kind of just looking for a job and streaming on the side. And yeah, today the weather is god-awful. There's been a storm going on for a few days, so it's kind of bad. So I can't take you outside. But anyhow, this is a day in the life of a player in the Raidiant Rocket League Series. Usually in the morning, I kind of eat what I want on the day. Today I kind of landed on the tail spread on 2 slices of bread, so I'll go and enjoy that in front of a show I'm watching, and then I'll probably stream shortly after. It is now 1 p.m. and it is time for my stream, so here we are, live, already live, just waiting on people to show up, and I'll see you later. And with streaming over, it is now time to have some lunch. I've decided to do carbonara today, so because it's it's my recipe, I don't want to share it. I'll just show you the ingredients. So you can only see this. There you go. That's all you get. That's all you get. I'll come back when the product is finished. And voila. All there's left for me to do now is to eat and then warm up for WCBC, and my day will be pretty much over. See you later. Hi, it's 9:30. We've just finished our WCBC series against No Snakes Allowed. Sadly, we lost, which is nothing new to us, but that's okay. We still get better, and we still train as much as we can to get better, and hopefully one day it pays off. Who knows, maybe that's next weekend. So yeah, be sure to tune in and watch us on February 26th in the Raidiant Rocket League Series.
Butterflies on my insides have all gone away. You're not along for the danger, but I'm here to stay.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Radiant Rocket League Series. We had a good match and a rivalry that we need to talk about, because this was first and second place teams from the Challengers Series, where it was Torrent who was leading the WCBC Challengers League with a 11-3 record. The Pittsburgh Knights right behind them in second. The last time they faced on February 19th, which was not too long ago, Torrent ended up winning. So the fact that the Knights won here, I think is a big statement.
And they played twice too. Pittsburgh Knights actually won the first one 3-0, and then we forgot. We thought they were like in Premier League already.
We thought they were
Our
already
apologies.
there.
That's my bad. I forgot about, they have to go through playoffs, but we expect both these teams probably to go up to the Premier League. But so these teams have met a lot. Huge rivalry. Pittsburgh Knights must be so thrilled to be on this mainstream, and they take down their rivals.
Yep, and they
there was also a standstill in Game 3, Herc, where just the Knights scored once and then nothing else. So what led to that stalemate?
You know, in all honesty, and we talked about it before, this is number 1 and number 2, and sometimes, and we talked about it before the first game, nerves play a big factor in this. This is the biggest tournament to date that women have had the opportunity to compete in. And of course, you go into this in general and you're already freaking out, but then you go up against your rival. And it's like, this is the time we have to prove ourselves, not just in front of our friends, but in front of the league, in front of our other teammates and our rivals in general. So that might have been a reason why that happened. But of course, they prevailed, they came back, and they won it all.
Well, I'd love to see how these two teams are going to shape up maybe in our playoffs tomorrow. I'd imagine they would be the ones to make it through. Speaking of other teams, let's look at the group standings to see how everyone else is shaping up on other streams. Remember, we have co-streams going down with some content creators. We have the WCBC covering some matches. Here is Group A and Group B. I'm seeing Silver Sirens lead it, Torrent White right behind. Lantide Wave is in first in Group B and SES second. Herc, in the Premier League, Lantide Wave have never won a match. And for them to get their first win in an event as impactful as this, how much does that surprise you?
A lot. I will be very honest, that surprises me a lot. But, what's interesting is, if you guys don't already, on Radiant's Twitter, they were doing interviews with the teams, and I watched an Lantide Wave interview, and they looked like, they weren't really caring about what had gone on in the past. They seemed to be very excited to play in this in general, and I think that they went into this probably having a lot of fun, and there's not a huge amount of pressure. You can't make your scores worse in the WCBC by competing in this.
Exactly. So I always talk about quality losses, and why not have 14 quality losses, then go into the biggest Rocket League tournament for women and start off 2-0 in your group. That's perfect. I love it.
Well, you brought up in your cast. It's okay to lose as long as you're still friends after at the end of the day. So we'll update you guys on Group C and D when we get results from that. We also have a Chipotle MVP of the match. And we're going to get the drum roll. Who will it be? Who stood up above the rest? It's Jade from the Pittsburgh Knights. Gibbs, break down these stats for me. 4
goals, 2 assists, doing a lot on the field. But the saves coming out, too. A lot of good defense, but one stat I love, demos. 7 demos in 4 games. That's impactful play, taking members off the field. Jade, huge performance there.
Yep, she did so much for her team, opened up a lot of opportunities for her teammates, and, set up a lot of shots for them as well, for them to be able to secure this win. She did amazing. And I'm also looking at this as well, 127 touches.
Yeah, just part of the play all the time. That's why I like her average score, 570, very, very high per game basis. So Jade, well done. Pittsburgh Knights moved to, 1-1 in their group, I believe. I think they lost, I assume, to Pioneers, because I saw them at 1-0. So I'm just going to assume that was their loss, but we'll have to see.
Well, this has been an amazing event so far. We had rivals facing off. We had a Game 5 in our first match, and it's going to be a long day. And I hope you guys all at home are staying fed. And if you're not, well, let me help you out. We got some Chipotle giveaways to do.
Look at burrito.
Oh my God.
Can I catch it? I don't know.
Try it. So go and text the code on your screen. Text WRL201 to 888. Get it. Go.
I'm ready. I mean, that's 10,000 entrees. That's a lot of entrees.
We're giving away tons of Chipotle entrees for you guys to be fed during our. You got that?
I'm working on it.
Can you get my order in?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, I
What do
got
want,
you.
like, readable or?
Yeah, bowl's cool. Herc, what's your order of choice?
You know, I have only had Chipotle once, and
Well, that's got to change.
it's gonna
How about
change.
twice?
We're gonna make it twice today because Gibbs is gonna order me an entree because he
I'll pick
texted
it.
that
I'll pick
code down below.
A little quesadilla or something.
Yeah.
I just want that bouncing burrito to come back because it kind of
Cue the
fit the
bouncing
shape.
burrito.
We have another match around the corner. Flashes of Brilliance versus Circuitry Gaming. I promise you, they come from the Premier League this time. That's another match I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see you after this break.